what I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they living separate.
Now,
maybe she doesn't know.
Beyonce doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think Beyonce. They're not going to share that with her.
Yvette knows. I got the receipts. I still have the receipts.
Women who are supporting Cassie, who maybe have some stories about you that might feel a bit similar, you need to be put on mute. This is not your time.
So the streets are buzzing that Jason Lee might be sitting on some explosive tea about Beyonce and Jay-Z's marriage drama. People are even saying Jason low-key tried to warn us about their separation long before anyone else caught on. If you've been online lately, you probably saw Jason stirring things up and shading Queen Bey on his talk show months ago. He straight up cornered Beyonce on camera, hinting he had dirt on her marriage with Jay unless she got Kelly Rowland to appear on his platform. That's bold. At the time, fans didn't buy it and clowned him hard for coming at Beyonce like that. But now, with new rumors swirling that Beyonce might actually be ready to walk away from Jay-Z, everyone's running back to Jason's words like, wait a second, did he already know?
We can take it back a step further. We can go all the way back to when he was trying to get with Aaliyah. The Foxy rumors. This man has a legit history of what he's allegedly doing to Beyonce now. So why is it so far-fetched to y'all to think that he's not doing the same thing to Beyonce? Just because it's Beyonce? I'm gonna need y'all to take y'all stand caps off and put your thinking caps on.
So here's the scoop on how this whole Jason Lee mess really started. It all goes back to December, when Jason got salty after Beyonce left him off the guest list for her big Renaissance movie premiere in London. Now get this, Beyonce invited a bunch of influencers, but Jason wasn't one of them. He went on camera blasting her, accusing her of not supporting black media. On top of that, Jason claimed he dropped a wild 40 grand on Renaissance concert tickets and merch for his crew, thinking that would guarantee him a golden ticket to her exclusive event. But nope, Beyonce never sent that invite, even though other influencers with way less loyalty and way less cash were partying right alongside her that night.
I think optically, when you don't include other black leaders in the culture in the fold, I mean, that just take me out of it. The Breakfast Club, I mean, you should have honored and brought more black, and I spent thousands of over $40,000 in tickets and shared the experience with friends. And I've done a lot, and I'm not even gonna say it here because if I did, this internet, Beyonce's good internet would go great.
Now check this out. After Jason went off with all his little rants, he jumped on his show and started dropping hints about the dirt he claims to have on Beyonce. And trust me, the guests sitting there were frozen, jaws on the floor, eyes wide, like they couldn't believe what they were hearing. But Jason wasn't done. He turned it up a notch and basically tried to blackmail Queen Bey on air. He straight up said he'd keep his mouth shut about the secrets he's holding only if she could pull some strings and get Kelly Rowland to sit down for an interview with him. Wild move.
I'm gonna tell them while Johnny puts a beep, so you'll never know what it is, but I want you to see their reactions. Ooh. And that's where I go back, we're friends. Can you imagine had I put that on Hollywood Law? Oh, there's one more thing, beat this, Johnny.
Woo!
So that in itself, I think Beyonce could have gave me a...
Maybe she doesn't know.
Beyonce doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think Beyonce. They're not going to share that with her.
No. Now, if I get that message to Beyonce, I'm connected. I could get the message to Beyonce. You know that, Yvette, we're trying to book Kelly Rowland right now. Now, if I don't get Kelly Rowland, then it's going to be a problem. Then I'm putting out receipts.
Back then, fans brushed off Jason's rant, saying he was just being bitter and clout chasing. Nobody really believed he had any real tea on Beyonce. But fast forward to now, and the rumor mill is spinning out of control with whispers that Beyonce might actually be splitting from Jay-Z. People on social media are connecting the dots, wondering if this is the very tea Jason was dangling and threatening to spill all along. And for anyone confused about where these divorce rumors even came from, let's break it down. Jay has already admitted to stepping out on Beyonce before, and he's been linked to several women over the years. But the latest drama really blew up when folks started digging into Jay-Z's ties with Diddy. Word on the street is that Beyonce was blindsided by some shady business moves Jay was allegedly making with Diddy, and now she's trying to distance herself before the whole situation explodes. Everybody knows Jay-Z and Diddy were tight like brothers for decades, but things started getting rocky not too long ago, right before Cassie dropped that lawsuit bomb. In an interview, Diddy bragged that only 2 people in the world get to call him Sean, his mom and Jay-Z. He was clearly trying to paint their bond as unbreakable, like they were family. But here's the kicker. At the time Diddy said that, he most likely already knew Cassie was preparing to file her explosive lawsuit. Her lawyers even claimed he'd been trying to cut deals for ages, allegedly offering her millions just to stay quiet. Now, some folks are convinced Diddy name-dropped Jay on purpose. Like he was sending a warning, don't get involved in this mess because if I go down, I'm taking you with me. And it gets darker. Industry rumors suggest Jay and Diddy might have more in common than people think when it comes to how they treat women. Jaguar Wright even came forward with wild claims, saying Jay might actually be worse than Diddy. According to her, the reason Jay has stayed silent through all of Diddy's chaos isn't loyalty, it's fear. Because if Diddy ever decides to talk, he could expose Jay too. And that includes how he allegedly treats Beyonce behind closed doors.
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy. This been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years.
But wait, this tea gets even hotter. Jaguar didn't just stop at calling Jay out. She dug deep into those long-running rumors about him allegedly messing around with younger women in the industry. Names like Foxy Brown, Aaliyah, Tayaira Mari, and even Rihanna have all been whispered in the mix. And fans haven't forgotten. And then there's his sketchy connection with R. Kelly. Jay flat out refused to cut ties even after Kelly's disgusting crimes came to light. That alone had people side-eyeing him hard.
Oh, Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both, Aaliyah, they shared so much in common.
And on top of everything else, even Beyonce's own fans have been side-eyeing her relationship with Jay for years. The timeline of how they actually met has always seemed a little shady. Beyonce once said she was 18 when they first crossed paths, and that they started dating a year later. But in a 2007 interview with Charlie Rose, Jay-Z slipped up big time. When asked how long he'd known Bey, he got nervous and accidentally admitted they'd met 10 years earlier. That little detail had people raising their eyebrows fast.
Wow, a long time.
10 years?
However long she's been recording. That's when I met her.
Well, don't you remember how long it was?
Yeah, when I met her. I mean,
Was it 5 years ago? Was it?
I met her 10 years ago.
But did you say to yourself at that time, wow?
I see, yeah, that's a fantastic talent.
Was that what you said?
Yeah.
So, when you do the math, that slip means they met back in 1997. Beyonce would have been just 15 or 16, while Jay was already 28. That age gap alone has fans digging through his past relationships, and the whispers aren't pretty. Word on the street is that before Beyonce, Jay was allegedly getting close to Foxy Brown when she was still in her mid-teens, promising to turn her into a star. People are calling it the same type of situation Diddy had with Cassie. He was 36 while she was just 19. And the comparisons don't stop there. Over the years, rumors have swirled that Jay allegedly got Beyonce hooked on substances, a claim her supposed ex-bodyguard Uncle Ron has pushed. According to him, Jay is the one holding the reins in their relationship, keeping Beyonce under control and calling all the shots through that influence. Wild allegations.
Yeah, Beyonce's on. She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
And Jaguar didn't hold back either. She went as far as claiming that Beyonce is basically trapped, living like a prisoner in a fancy gilded cage. All the luxury on the outside, but no real freedom on the inside.
Talking about free Britney, y'all need to be doing a campaign that says free Beyonce. She is a prisoner in a gilded cage.
But here's the twist that really sent these divorce rumors spinning out of control. Jay-Z recently jumped in to defend Beyonce against the Grammys, calling them out for never giving her that long overdue Album of the Year trophy. At first, people were clapping for him, giving Jay props for standing up for his queen. But sharp-eyed fans couldn't ignore how Beyonce looked. She seemed tense, almost annoyed, instead of touched by his speech. And then came the strangest part. While Jay was up there praising her, he didn't even call her Beyonce. He referred to her as this young lady. That awkward choice of words had fans buzzing with questions.
So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work.
And then comes the part that had everybody scratching their heads. Right after Jay finished his speech, he, Beyonce, and Blue Ivy dipped out of the Grammys. Now tell me that's not strange, especially since Jay was there to accept his own Global Impact Award. So, wait a minute. He respects the Grammys enough to step up and take their award, but at the same time, he's dragging them for being biased against his wife. Like, make it make sense. And even wilder. Why put Beyonce on the spot in front of millions of people, only to not even say her name or at least call her my wife? Fans couldn't shake the weird vibes, and plenty said the moment felt eerily similar to when Diddy shouted out Cassie at the BET Awards just months before her lawsuit dropped. On top of that, word is Beyonce's been grinding harder than ever, pushing her new hair care line, rolling out a fresh album, all because she's on a money mission. Rumor has it she's trying to secure her own empire, separate from Jay, before all the dirt about his alleged shady dealings with Diddy comes crashing down. Now, people are starting to wonder if that tea Jason Lee teased about Beyonce was actually tied to Jay-Z's friendship with Diddy, especially since Jason made those comments right after Cassie's lawsuit blew up. The dots are connecting and fans are shook. This whole situation is looking messier than a spilled drink at the club. And Jason? He might be sitting on some serious tea about Jay and Beyonce that could shake the whole game if he ever decides to spill it. Nobody knows if he's going to drop the entire pot. But one thing's for sure. When Jason starts talking, he doesn't hold back. The socials are already lit with takes and opinions, and fans are saying they wouldn't be shocked at all if Jay-Z ends up exposed as even worse than Diddy. But here's the twist. Some people aren't seeing Beyonce as the victim either. A lot of folks believe she might be stressing over her own skeletons falling out of the closet if Jay goes down. That's why this drama feels like it could go in any direction. So tell me, do you think Beyonce is actually ready to file those papers, or is she too deep in this empire to pull the plug? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and I'll catch you in the next video.